When Paddy Pimblett defeated Bobby Green last July, I was the only MMA content creator on YouTube that said Paddy Pimblett was going to win by first round submission and make it look easy. I got it bang on. It got me a lot of subs. It got me 400 views and I was very, very ecstatic about it. And I thought to myself, let's make this 2 for 2 in my last 2 Paddy Pimblett predictions, you know. The fight before that, Ferguson, I did say decision. Guys, Paddy Pimblett and I have had a very good prediction sort of dynamic, so I'm wanting to keep that up. And let's just talk about this. Paddy Pimblett's fighting Michael Chandler, folks. Now, Michael Chandler, as we all know, is Iron Michael Chandler. He's had a phenomenal career. However, Paddy Pimblett will beat him. Paddy Pimblett is going to beat Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler doesn't have power in his hands. Not anymore. Michael Chandler became 33, 34, 35 and started losing the power in his hands. He knocked out Dan Hooker with a body shot left hook. That's Dan Hooker. That's before Dan Hooker got all the tattoos. He then front kicked Tony Ferguson in the face. But apart from that, I don't think he has the power in his hands anymore. Now, folks, my first intuition for this fight was, I think it's going to be boring. I think this fight will go all 5 rounds. Pimblett might win 3-2 and actually be a bit lackluster. I've seen Pimblett settle for rounds before, coast rounds. We've seen Chandler do the same. However, my prediction, folks, and I'm just going to get straight into this. I'm going to explain why, and I'm going to break it all down. I think Paddy Pimblett is going to almost submit Michael Chandler, or have the position of where you might think, oh, he's going to submit him, and then he's going to TKO him. I think the referee might stop it. I think the referee might stop it slightly early, and I think this is going to happen in round 1 or 2. I can see Chandler being very, very patient. I can see Pimblett being very, very patient, and then a scramble happening. Not much happening, and then a scramble happens. Pimblett's a finisher. He takes advantage, and I have a feeling Pimblett might take his back, and one of Chandler's arms, due to the weird scramble, is pinned in Pimblett's left leg against the cage, and Pimblett is just... Chandler can't defend himself. That's what I can see. I've just spat everywhere. I can see it. Fuck, I don't want to be able to see it, but I can fucking see it, man. I can see Pimblett beating Michael Chandler in a round or 2. And I can see it being not controversial, but slightly like, oh, maybe the ref could have let it go a bit longer. I think Michael Chandler's finishing ability is shit. I know that sounds mad. He's not got a good fight IQ. His finishing ability is shite. He does terrible on the back foot. And I'm telling you, if Paddy Pimblett lands a question mark kick, which I think he will in this fight, a question mark kick over the top, his kicks are fantastic. Much better than his boxing. I think it's going to be a long, rangy, kick-heavy attack game plan from Paddy Pimblett. I think he's going to boot him all around the octagon with kicks. Chandler's going to look for that success coming forward. Pimblett won't let himself be backed up against the cage, but Pimblett will look bad. Pimblett always looks shit until he doesn't. Michael Chandler's shit, guys. Like, without his genetic freakness, he wouldn't be a good fighter. His wrestling hasn't looked good. He's 38. Guys, he's gone. Michael Chandler isn't a formidable opponent in the top 15 anymore for anyone. And this is a little bit of a layup for Paddy Pimblett. I think he goes out there and schools him. I'm not even joking. I think he's just got that ability, that finishing ability, the good instincts. Chandler does terrible on the back foot. People forget this. Chandler is terrible on the back foot. He's got a really bouncy, explosive style forward, but that does not translate to him moving back. People don't typically push him back because they're afraid of getting smacked by him. Paddy Pimblett can fight going forward very, very well. He comes forward with momentum. He moves his feet well. He moves his head and his hands. I don't want to predict Paddy. Fucking 3 years ago, this would have been a laugh. 3 years ago, after Chandler just got submitted by Poirier, people would laugh their heads off. And can I just say, everyone's saying, Oliveira had Chandler's back twice in 2 different fights and 4 times in a fight once, and he couldn't submit him. Chandler was submitted by Poirier, you fucking pricks. Like, come on, man. Michael Chandler got submitted by Dustin the Diamond Poirier, well-renowned boxer who doesn't take people down. MMA math doesn't work. Maths in MMA does not work, folks. Paddy Pimblett's going to knock him out. Or TKO, to be more clear. If Paddy Pimblett slumps him, though, on the feet, I wouldn't be surprised if they just said, Islam's moving up to Puria Paddy for the vacant belt. That's what we want. Also, look at the pause, boy. Look at the pause. Fuck, I'm hyped for this one, guys. I'm really, really hyped for this one. Paddy Pimblett, I think, is going to go out there and win. I think he goes to number 5 in the world with this victory if he finishes Chandler. Poirier finished Chandler by submission. I can see Paddy doing it. You know what I can genuinely see? I can see Paddy having a body triangle and then Chandler laying on his front. Paddy has a body, a bit like how we had with Jordan Leavitt with his arm trapped, and Paddy just fucking whacking him and not going for a submission. Just, man. The only thing I would have in my mind is Paddy could get chinned. However, I don't think he will. I don't trust Chandler's power enough. And I know people, all the American fans are like, how the fuck can you think that? And I'm sat there like, who the fuck has Chandler dropped in the UFC apart from Dan Hooker? Gaethje, maybe when he was off balance. Gaethje's been dropped loads. Come on, guys. You have to sit back and look at the proofs in the pudding, and obviously a fight's a fight, but I would say this is a 70% likely chance Paddy Pimblett finishes him. You can go, oh, but Chandler finished Tony Ferguson. Chandler had never thrown a front kick in his life up until that point, you know, and that front kick would have knocked everybody out. Over 3 collective rounds, Ferguson and Pimblett was a good fight. Pimblett gassed out. Pimblett learned a lot from that. But also, people have to remember, that fight against Tony Ferguson was when Paddy Pimblett took 1 whole year off with a broken foot that got infected, that he had to build. And then he went on, and Pimblett put on so much muscle in that year. And he really grew into the weight class. Because he was a little bit small for a lightweight before, but now he's massive for a lightweight. And that was the first fight back with all this new muscle Pimblett had on him, you know. He's training now with this new muscle on longer. He's been doing it a few years since. It's been a year and a half since the Ferguson fight, and he's been putting on all this new muscle. People forget that as well. As soon as you build into a new frame and a new weight class, it takes a few fights for your athleticism and your cardio to catch up, and I truly believe that. And I think people need to remember that Pimblett looked fucking huge against Ferguson, much bigger than we've ever seen him after a year off. He put on so much muscle, and he maybe wasn't acclimated to that muscle as of just yet under the bright lights. And we've seen against Bobby Green, yeah, that fight was quick. Pimblett can fight at a slow pace and just stay calm. And I'd like to see some improvement on the feet because he does lean back with his chin up. And Chandler, if Chandler thinks he's losing a round, he will just burst in and do that. And Pimblett can't be stood there. This is the thing, that this fight's a massive toss-up because Chandler is like the guy to beat to get into the top 10, and I think Pimblett pins him and beats him to death, and I think maybe finishes. I'm gonna say Paddy Pimblett first or second round finish. My original prediction was Paddy Pimblett by decision. That I said it to my friend Stan. We were in Thailand, and Stan was like, "Oh, Chandler and Pimblett might go out and knock him out." I'm like, I'm sensing a decision. I must admit, I'm really sensing a decision here. However, I've kind of backtracked on that, and I'm thinking, I don't think either of them will have enough steam to try finish each other too. Fuck, man, I don't know. I'm thinking Pimblett. I'm gonna go Pimblett by finishing the first 2. I can see maybe the 8-minute mark. I can see the first round being like an interesting round, and then round 2 something massive happening. I know MMA Guru picked Paddy Pimblett to win by knockout on the feet in the second round. I think he picked that. I see TKO. I don't really see it being on the feet. I can see Pimblett pinning an arm of Chandler, taking his back and having one arm pinned and being top half guard, and Pimblett cutting him with an elbow and then hammer fisting him, and then all of a sudden, weirdly enough, Chandler just isn't conscious anymore. And it might be like a really weird stoppage, and then a bit like when what the fuck? A bit like when Kevin Holland finished Jacare Souza from bottom position. Not that this will happen from bottom position. I can see it being the same sort of reaction. Maybe a top half guard, a few hammer fists. Chandler is hurt, he's cut, he's getting back into guard, and Pimblett starts landing elbows, and all of a sudden Chandler just isn't there anymore. And I can see the crowd being like, oh my god, the power of Paddy Pimblett. He's got nasty ground, and that's how I see the fight going. I can see it being a scramble. Paddy maybe having an arm pinned of Chandler from the back. Chandler gaining position again. As he regains position, bunk. An elbow, a hammer, something just fucks him a little bit. Just kind of flaunts him out of his comfort, and he's all of a sudden like, what is going on here? Paddy Pimblett's going to go out there and finish Michael Chandler, and it's going to be absolutely emphatic. I can't wait for it. It's going to be very entertaining. It's going to happen. I can see it happening, man. If you had said 3 years ago, or even 2 years ago, will Paddy Pimblett be top 15 in the world? I would have said no, absolutely not. Not a chance. He's done it very smart. He's done it very smart. He's went from 12 to 7 and now to top 5 after this win. Paddy Pimblett, by finish in the first 8, I'm going to say within 8 minutes. I don't think it's going to be a long fight. Paddy Pimblett will look terrible until he doesn't. Mark my words on that. I'm putting some money on him. Thanks for watching, folks. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. We're back making videos, baby. We're back. We're back. And I'm very happy to be back. Pimblett by finish.